set is Wendell Weeks. He's the chairman and CEO of Corning. He was just part of President Biden's CEO roundtable. Thank you for coming up here.
Well, thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here in person as well. So the challenge yesterday, I suppose, or maybe the opportunity yesterday was to highlight what the strength of the economy at the White House. But you guys are facing some challenges getting enough product to customers. Is that right?
Well, it's really mixed. The president wanted to have our insight as to what's really going on with the economy. And since we just posted our Q2 results, it was pretty easy to share. We grew about 7% in revenue year over year, 8% in earnings per share. So good, solid results. But underneath the surface, which is very strong demand in infrastructure, optical communications, and solar, more than offsetting some softness in consumer electronics and in auto.
Which I wonder, because consumer is so visible to us, the fact that that's your softest part, is that why everyone's thinking, okay, this whole economy is weak? But from what you're describing, demand still sounds pretty strong in more of the industrial areas.
Totally depends on which business you are in. But for optical communications and solar, the sort of infrastructure of the future, we see demand continuing to be quite strong.
Is it so strong that you're having trouble meeting supply?
At the moment, things are tight. If I could make more, I could sell more, which is a good place to be in some regards. But we want to be able to build enough capacity so that our customers can get their needs met. And we're doing that. We are in the midst of starting up a brand new fiber facility, as well as a brand new optical cable facility. And perhaps more to come in the near future. Well,
feel free to announce anything you want to. I know we're not the White House, but we'll take it. We spoke with a smaller manufacturer in the Midwest earlier this week, Aptar Group. They make a lot of essential things. Demand is very strong. 15% of their workforce is basically gone missing since the pandemic, among other challenges. What are you seeing on the labor front?
Well, we're really lucky. We're a 172-year-old company. We invent life-changing innovations. And so when we're hiring, the line pretty much goes around the block. We treat people well. We tend to be lifetime employers. So we really haven't had a problem attracting talent. And that is a blessing. We don't take it for granted, but we've been able to do that.
Do you have a sense of what your wages are up year on year? Because when we look at reasons why we might be able to avoid a recession, that is one of them.
Definitely, our pay is up year over year, both for our production workforce as well as our salaried workforce. You know, there's good inflation and bad inflation. I got to tell you, paying people more, that's pretty good inflation.
So what is it that's holding you back from being able to produce more?
Well, the main thing has just been time. What happened is, going into the pandemic, our customers reduced their capital spending by about 2/3. Our big carrier customers, our big hyperscale cloud players, our big 5G players, right? They reduced by about 2/3. Then when we all went into the pandemic, demand soared. Broadband usage went up by 50, 60%. Cloud-based revenues went up 60, 70%. All sorts of new people became connected to broadband. And so what that did is it outstripped the already in place capacity. So we have to catch up for that. And so now our customers have increased their CapEx by about 10 times.
Yeah, wow.
And so all we need to do is kind of catch up to that. And we'll get enough in. It's just going to take us a little bit of time, but we'll be up and ready to go.
I mean, the delay might be a benefit, because if that demand doesn't all persist, you don't want to get caught short, you know, sort of flat-footed by that. But then again, we know we're kind of building a lot of this for the long run. Final question. You have been CEO, as you said, for 15 years. You were through the Great Recession, or it must have been right around that time. You've been through a number of different kinds of economies. How would you describe the current environment that we're in, and how does it compare with other ones that you've had to navigate?
Well, I think this current environment's different in some ways, but also just worth reflecting back over the pandemic. Because of them, I don't know, we have 60,000 great people now, much bigger than when I took over. We've grown as much in revenue over that time period as the whole size of the company was when I first took over. So there's like more and more opportunities, like even in a macro environment that's soft, right? There's always micro markets for growth, especially if you have new innovation. And that's what we've been blessed with the last 2.5 years. And we'll see how we navigate this latest environment.
Sure. I guess I would also wonder if your material cost inflation is getting better or not. Do you see it letting up there, or is it still your biggest issue?
We still have inflation haunting us, but what we've had to do is go to our customers and sort of share that cost more appropriately. And that's been what's behind our increasing profitability in Q2, as our customers have been kind enough to agree with us that it'd be more appropriate if they took their fair share.
I'm sure it's just out of the kindness of their hearts. They happily hand over that. Wendell, it's great to have you here and get your frontline insight. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
We appreciate it. Wendell Weeks is the chairman and CEO of Corning.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.